Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I hope my videos find you and your family well. I got a couple of emails asking me how I track my portfolio. So in today's video, we're gonna go over with the spreadsheet that I found on the internet, and also I put some features in here that help me track my dividend and how my portfolio is doing. And for those who have found my channel through the YouTube algorithm, the premise of this channel is I've seen a lot of folks that watch investing channel that always ask the question, is it too late to start? Well, I want to create this channel because I started learning about investing at the age of 43, and with time and dedication I was able to feel comfortable enough to handle my portfolio and my wide portfolio, and I built the portfolio from the ground up. And what you're going to see is a weekly portfolio update, which I plan to update every Wednesday to let you guys see how my and my wife portfolio is doing. And as well as at the end of beginning of each month, I will do a comparison of my monthly expense for the previous month as compared to my dividends and how much I receive in dividends to help me track how my progress is doing. So if you haven't subscribed, I really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button for me, hit that like button, and put some comment in there so we can share this channel with other people that may be pondering on the issue of, is it late to start investing? So with that said, let's go over with the layout of the spreadsheet. Before we go over with the nitty and gritty column that you see in yellow here, let's go over with the color coordination so that we can all be in the same page. So on the left column, of course, is the teal color, which represents my Roth holding. And the traditional IRA is the light purple one. And I just started a taxable account with only one holding so far, which is Berkshire. And on the top where it says manual, it is the orange color. So this is where I would have to manually input these data. So in this, for example, the manual would be the ticker symbol, the amount of shares, the cost basis of those shares, and also the dividend annual payment for the particular ticker holding. On the profit area, green of course represents profit, red represents the losses. And if you look at the body of the spreadsheet, you have this light beige color. You have this dark violet color, and what I put down here is the representation of the body of the spreadsheet. So the dark violet represents companies that are not paying dividends, and if I have any orange color in the body of the spreadsheet, that means that the company has cut the dividend, and the light brownish color represents the company freezing the dividend, and the red color on the body of the spreadsheet represents the cancellation of the dividend from the company. So for example, Texas Roadhouse is the light brown color, so they froze their dividend in the year 2020. And of course Facebook and also Berkshire, the B shares, the dark violet color. Those are the two holdings that I have that does not pay a dividend. Okay, with that said, let's go over with the column. The first one you see is the sector. That's self-explanatory. Whatever sector the ticker symbol is. And this, for example, we're just gonna go over with the first holding that I have in here throughout the whole column, so that we don't have to go through each of the ticker symbol. So for example, the manual input is BAC, which represents Bank of America. Of course, this is financial. And I go to my broker where I hold these shares, and I put in the amount of shares that I have. Next to it is the cost basis. So however amount of shares that I have multiplied by the cost basis per share, I'm going to get that total amount for the cost basis of the 23.31 shares that I have. And once I input these numbers manually, this will calculate. This is the cost basis per share. So as for example, Bank of America, my cost basis per share is $21.16. And next to that is the price. This price is the actual price of Bank of America on the date that you see here, which is December the 8th on Tuesday. And the price of Bank of America today is $28.93, and this is pulled off through the Google Finance. And the market share is the amount, the price of the holdings, the Bank of America in this example, times the share that the amount of shares that I have, and that would give me the market value. So as you can see, the market value is more than my cost basis. So if you subtract the market value and you subtract that by the cost basis of my shares at Bank of America, you will see a profit of $181.01. And this is the weighting of Bank of America in my portfolio. It is showing at 0.91%. And how I got that is I look at the market value of Bank of America and divide that by my total market value of my overall portfolio. And this one is manually inputted, which is a dividend that Bank of America paid annually, sorry. And as you can see here, I put it at 72 cents. And this one I update, I try to do this every 6 months. So the last time I updated was December 4th, which is a few days ago. So I put this notation here so that in June, beginning of June, I will update the dividend manually again for each of the holdings I have. I did find some spreadsheet that has automation through it, but those spreadsheets sometimes cause conflict of pulling those dividend data. So I find that it's easier just to go in there and manually input the annual dividend so that you don't have to worry about those errors that keep popping up on Google Spreadsheet. And next to the annual dividend per share is the yield, and how we calculate that is we look at the annual dividend that the company paid, divided by whatever price it is for that particular day, and you will get the yield for that particular day. So in this example, Bank of America is paid 72 cents per year. You divide that by the price that they're paying right now, and so you will get the actual yield that if you were to purchase the stock today, you would get a yield of 2.49%. Right next to that is the dividend estimated, and this is calculated by the annual dividend that Bank of America paid, multiplied by the shares that I have for Bank of America. So if you multiply those two numbers, we get that Bank of America paid me $16.78 for the year with my 23.31 shares that I have. And this is just for me to notate that I participate in a DRIP program, which is a dividend reinvestment program through my broker. And I can select no or yes. This just gives me an idea of what I'm doing with the dividend I'm receiving for the holdings that we have, that we're talking about now, which is Bank of America. So the yield on cost is different from the yield if you were to purchase today. So my yield on cost for Bank of America is 3.40%. And the reason why they're different is because my cost basis is less than whatever the market value is right now. Okay, so if we go down all the way to the bottom, you get a total. This is the total cost basis of my portfolio. And this is the actual market value of my portfolio. And if you subtract those two, if you get a green color, this is how much gain I have so far in my portfolio, unrealized gain that I have in my portfolio. And if, of course, the market value is less than your cost basis, you're gonna get a red indicator. And so we get the calculated yield for my whole portfolio. And to do that, we get the dividend estimate total at the bottom here. And you divide that by the market share of whatever my portfolio is right now, and you would get a yield of what you see here, which in my portfolio is 2.36. And right next to the yield, of course, is I add up. This is the Google Sheet will add up all the dividend estimate I will receive for all my holdings, and this is the dividend estimate that I will be getting for the year if nothing changes, or if I don't add any more holding, or if there's no cut on dividends. And for the yield on cost, which is the actual yield I'm receiving for my cost basis, would be the dividend estimate annually divided by my cost basis for my portfolio. So as you can see, my cost basis, based on my cost basis, my yield on cost is 3.45. Okay, and down here, this is just a summary report. This is my book value, which is the cost basis of my portfolio. Right underneath that is the market value, which pulls it from the market value total from the body of the spreadsheet. And then, of course, my profit is on this area because it's green. Of course, will show a profit here, and will let me know what my estimate dividend for the year is annually. And my portfolio is yielding right now 2.36. The yield on cost is 3.45, as I explained a while ago. And to the right of the body of the spreadsheet, this graph tells me the sector diversification weighting of my portfolio. So as you can see, for example, down here on the chart, it says financial. I'm holding at 7.92% on the sector weighting. And so this bar graph kind of gives me a bird's eye view of seeing what percent it is I'm holding per sector. And energy shows a 3.98. And if you go further, you can see that the graph will represent whatever the sector percentage as I'm seeing right here. I'm showing right here. And also this tells me the amount of the financial, the money, the market value of my for each sector. In this example, financial is market value is $5,875. My energy is that amount. My healthcare is that amount. So what I like to do here on the sector weighting of my market value of my portfolio for each of the sector, I like to compare it to my target sector allocation. Now I'm still on the accumulation phase, so I'm not worried too much as far as if it's going above my target sector allocation or below my target allocation. It will be more I will be more focused on this once I get near retirement age, or once my portfolio grows a lot bigger, so that I can rebalance it to match with my target sector allocation. So for example, as you can see here, the financial has a sector weighting of my true portfolio percentage is 7.92. My target sector allocation for financial is at 12%. So if you compare this, I am underweight on the financial sector. But again, I'm still in the accumulation phase, so this doesn't trouble me too much. And as you can see down here on the sector holding of my market value portfolio right now, information technology has a 16.02% sector weighting at the moment. My information technology target sector location is only 6%, and the reason why this is so high is because of one particular stock, and that is, let me see where it is. It's Apple. Apple alone, I gained about close to $5,000, so that has jumped my sector weighting for my portfolio at the moment. But again, I'm not too concerned about it being so much overweight because again, I'm still on the accumulation phase. So on the next tab, I started tracking my dividend income in 2019, and what I do is I manually input these in a quarterly basis. I'm sorry, on a monthly basis for each of my holdings. So for example, let's look at Duke Energy. This I have to manually go into my broker and input whatever Duke pay me on March, whatever Duke pay me on June, whatever amount Duke pays me in September, and whatever Duke pays me in December. And on the far right is the total amount that each of the company pays me. In the next tab, I do the same thing for 2020. Again, I started tracking my dividend in 2019. So in 2020, each month I would manually input the amount of dividend that each company pays me. And the bottom of the dividend income tracker, you get a total for whatever month that we are in. So for example, this month is December. We don't have the total yet, but let's look at November. So once I put in my November dividend payment for each of these holdings that I have, if you scroll all the way down, you get a total of the amount of dividends for November of the year 2020. Of course, I will continue to track my dividend next year as well, 2021, and then any year after that. So it's a good idea for you to track your dividends because this will help you track how you're progressing in your dividend payment. If you see my video, expenses versus dividend, which I plan to do every month, beginning of the month for the previous month, you can actually see how much dividend I am accumulating so that you can kind of foresee how those dividends are helping you pay your bills in the future. So the last tab here is the month-year summary, and what I like to see here is all these data are pulled up all these data are pulled up from the dividend income for whatever year we're looking at. So in 2019, I would go into the dividend income tab in 2019 and look at the total dividends. So whatever total is down here, it will pull up matching whatever month that we're looking at. And on 2020, it does the same thing. So the dividend income, it will pull the dividend income for the total of each month. And it will input it on whatever month that it corresponds to. And at the bottom here is a graph representation of year 2019, 2020. I put the other 3 years here so I am ready for the next 3 years of dividend income. And what this does for me is it shows me year-over-year changes on my dividends. Like for example, the blue box here represents 2019 and the red box here represents 2020. And so in 2019, let's start with February here. I only got $10.95 in the year February 2019. And so the blue bar represents 2019, as you can see, is $10.95. And the red bar right here shows February 2020, which is $75.03. And that's the 2020 February payment for dividend. And so what this bar represents is it tells me my dividends has increased each month year over year. So what I like to see is each line that represents the next coming year to be higher than the previous line. And what that shows me is my dividends is increasing each month throughout the year. So leave a comment below, guys, to let me know what you think about the spreadsheet. I know it's kind of basic, but I like the basic information I provide. I've seen a lot of spreadsheets that overwhelms with so many data, and you kind of get sidetracked, especially with me holding a lot of holdings with mine and my wife. I like to see a simple spreadsheet like what I share with you today. And also the most important thing for me being a dividend investor is tracking how much dividend I am getting throughout the month and throughout each year. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button below. Leave a comment for me so that we can pass this channel to others that might be pondering about whether it's too late for them to get started. Again, I started learning about investing at 43, not knowing anything about the investing world. And with time and dedication, about a year and a half to close to 2 years, I was comfortable to start up my own portfolio from the ground up, and was able to take control of mine and my wife's portfolio. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching the channel today, and as always, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.